What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Chasing Dallas season 2, the the season finale. Oh Lord, I hope I didn't speak nothing into existence. The season finale. I'm not sure what episode it is. Episode something. It'll be in the description correctly. But listen, I got a lot to say. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you, this review is going to be a little bit different. This review is going to probably flow a little differently. Um, First of all, let me give a shout out to my Justice League before I forget, as it seems like other people have. But anyway, so I want to give a shout out to all those in the Justice League. We have all been reviewing the show. Ebby Reviews, L Teddy 27, Cats Meow, Yes Bitch TV, Mr. Still Standing, aka Scotty. Last but not least, giving you the real tea, my boy Terrence. Also want to talk about a few other people, the Ghetto View, Hermit TV Junkie, anybody else who I forgot, charged to my head and not my heart. If it weren't for the people who review the show, let's be clear. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Anyway, so we start this episode off at the Christmas party. Now, Kirk Myers, who, and if I said your name wrong, please, again, I think I said it right, who I hear is a mover and shaker in the LGBTQIA community, from my understanding. I think Reese mentioned earlier in the season that he sponsors a lot of events, especially during Dallas Pride. I think that event that we saw Ariel perform in, he sponsored. But if I'm wrong, y'all can correct me in the description box. So he had a Christmas party. Reese said he got a personal invitation. Kelly Price was there performing. And can't take nothing. I mean, hey, you go to a Christmas party and Kelly Price is on stage. I figure that's a win-win-win. I mean, you can't lose. You can't lose. During this time, George was also invited. He was also there. And so during this time, Reese and George had an opportunity to have a conversation. I personally do not feel that... Oh, hold on, y'all. That's my niece. Hold on. Oh, I apologize, y'all. That was my niece calling me, and I had to take the call. That was my niecey poo. So listen. So I don't even know where I left off, but I'm gonna just start where my mind has me starting. And where my mind has me starting is we're still at the Christmas party, and I think I was saying how I don't necessarily think that was an appropriate time or place for Reese G to decide to have this conversation with George. You guys were at a Christmas party. You just got finished talking about how this man was he was such an damn, y'all know what I'm saying, important person. Shit, I can't get it out. But y'all, you were saying about how he was such an important person in the Dallas area, especially in the LGBTQIA. I feel like that conversation could have very easily gone left. I feel like you probably had to get permission from him to have the cameras there. And that's just me. I don't know if I felt like that was the time or the place to have that conversation. Although the conversation did not go left, because y'all are two adults and y'all do know how to act in public. So I will give you both of y'all credit for that. Y'all had a conversation. Y'all said what y'all said. Reese said he don't feel like he owed George an apology. George said that what Reese said was enough for him, that he took it as an apology. And they agreed that they were going to be cool, move forward, and try to work towards something. And George said, now don't act funny when you get around your other friends. Now don't flip it on me when you get around your folks later on. And yeah, so there was that. Also, he said, I need to talk to Trey Womack. Now, Trey Womack was, Reese said, well, he might come to the party because I saw his brother. He may be here, da-da-da-da-da, bada-bada boom, bada-bada bang. Now, the rest of the show takes place at the Last Supper. Reese G is having a get-together, a dinner where he invited everybody from the show, including Antonio, who we know Antonio had been MIA most of the season. We won't get into the why because I don't care anymore, but have been MIA most of the season. So everybody was invited to come, and here's here's where I get a little, no I don't, nope, no I don't, no I don't. I'm going to review what I see. So what I see is the cast is showing up one by one, and as the cast is showing up, everybody seems to have a problem with the same person, and that would be Kane. And the issue seems to be going back to, I believe it was his second review from Chasing Dallas, between the first and the second review of him chasing Dallas, a review on the show Chasing Dallas, and some of the comments he made about the cast. He made comments about Reese, he made comments about Ariel, he made comments about Markel, Dior, George, and all of them kind of wanted to resolve it and kind of wanted to have a conversation to resolve the issue. But because he did not show up, nobody really could resolve anything with him. And I will agree with Ariel. I feel like that was some punk shit. You stand on your platform, you talk your shit, but when you have an opportunity to be in the room with said people so that y'all can clear the air, or you can say what you need to say and they can say what they need to say, and everybody say what needs to be said and clear the air, your ass don't show up. And so I think that's some real punk shit. I think that's some real punk ass keyboard gangster pussy ass shit. Yep, that's how I feel. I have a problem, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I have a problem with some of the stuff that can't. First of all, I got a problem with you reviewing your own show. That's got to be the most ignorant, narcissistic, asinine shit for you to review your own show. That's just stupid. You're on the show. Let other people tell you what they see. And if you want to have a rebuttal or you want to respond later on, you can respond later on. But for you to do hour-and-a-half long reviews on a show that ain't but 45 minutes long, that's just some ignorant shit. That's just me, though. Second of all, I feel like you know how this shit goes with reality TV. Something is filmed, a confessional is done, but you know that stuff was filmed months and months and months and months ago. And if you and Ariel were in a better place, it didn't even need to be addressed. If you and Reese were in a better place, it didn't even need to be addressed. But whatever. Let me get off of that. Let me get off of that. So what ended up happening was they're going to eat dinner, and then Reese is going to do the pass the spoon. And when you have the spoon, and basically you're going to address what you see and who you see and all of the ins and the outs. Now, it was a potluck. So it looks like Reese might have made a few dishes, but then overall it was a potluck. My baby Carrie D was there, and you guys, hey Carrie D, y'all did the commercial telling everybody to go check out the video. You said go to our YouTube page, but you didn't. Is the YouTube page called Roommate? Is the YouTube page called Carrie D? What is the YouTube page? I'm going to find it, though. You know I'm going to find it, boo. But Carrie D, they did a video for the single Blow Your Mind. Y'all know I've been telling y'all Blow Your Mind is the Shiz Nye E. Shouts out to Scrap. Y'all check it out. So, but everybody was there. I believe everybody was there except for Kane. Dior and Trey were late, but they did come. Trey Howard. Trey Womack was there. Premier, Reese, Ariel, Carrie D, Markel. Lord, I said Markel. Now, the other person that everybody had a beef with that showed up was Antonio. Because a lot of people had issues with Antonio because of stuff that Antonio had been saying on social media. And it sounds like there was more to the whole Antonio situation as well. So let me just hit the highlights. Let me just hit the hot spots and hit the highlights. Reese, I like this last confessional look. I like you with the goatee and the facial hair. I really do. I think that looks really, really nice on you. I like that. They're praying over the food. Markel! Don't you never, ever interrupt the prayer to be cussing people out again. Don't do that. You can wait till they say amen. But neither here nor there. Markel said that he heard that Antonio was going to pop him the next time he saw him. And so Markel, I guess he couldn't hold his tongue any longer, and he addressed the room. That goes back to the whole beef that they had at the beginning of the year where supposedly that was Premier, where somebody went through somebody from, I don't even remember where the beef came from. But neither here nor there. Antonio's thing was, well, did you hear me say it? And Markel said, well, no, I didn't hear you say it, but I heard it through the grapevine that you said next time you saw me, it was going to be on site. So what's up? So they got to arguing, and I guess they cleared that whole thing up. Carrie D didn't have no beef with nobody, child. Carrie D slid his chair back. It was like, y'all can go ahead, because he was sitting in between them. And Carrie D was like, y'all go ahead and talk about that if y'all need to talk about that. I don't remember the order of shit, so let me just talk about what happened. Then George and Antonio got into it because... So then George and Antonio got into it. Then Premier and Antonio got into it. Ariel didn't have no beef with nobody. The only person she had beef with was the person who wasn't there, which was Kane. And she said that even then she didn't really have no beef with Kane. She just wanted to clear things up because she said me and Kane are in a better place now, but I did want to address what he said about me. So then Reese and Antonio got into it, and Reese got hot, Reese got heated. And you know, this is the kind of stuff that I don't like that Antonio does. Just address the situation. One thing I can't stand is when I say something to somebody or I ask somebody a question and they respond with my question with a question. So, like, Antonio was doing this shit, like, Reese would say, well, I heard that you said X, Y, Z. And Antonio would be like, well, did I? Is that what you heard? Really? Don't do that. We can't resolve anything when you're doing that. That's because what I'm going to take that as is you deflecting and you not want to really address the issue and you not really want to resolve the problem. So that would irritate my soul for people to do that to me. The other thing that was irritating me was, you know, him making them little slick shade comments. Like he said something to Reese about, yeah, you just drinking that cheap champagne. Reese was like, that's the same champagne that your ass used to bring to my house. So if it's cheap, we were cheap together. Like, that's just stupid stuff. If we're really sitting here trying to resolve a problem, trying to resolve the issue, then let's resolve the fucking issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that kind. To me, I don't like that kind of stuff. Then so what boiled... Okay, so I'm just going... So then Reese ended up going outside, I guess, to go for a walk or to get some fresh air. And that's when Dior and Trey Howard were walking up. And Dior's thing was, the only person I got beef with is Kane. Well, Kane ain't there. He sort of had beef with Antonio too, but I don't remember why. Now, Dior, I'm going to come for you a little bit too. And I really had almost missed it until I spoke with my Justice League comrades. And I don't know if you were directing this little comment at us or you were directing that comment at somebody in particular or you shot the bullet and it hit us. But, you know, again, please don't diminish what we as YouTubers do. When you make the comment about King Kane going on these little YouTuber shows or whatever. Because at the end of the day, like I said at the beginning of my video, we give y'all free promotion. And I know that you are the man 50 grand in Dallas. But I'm saying. So I don't know. I just didn't appreciate those little side comments that were made. But I'm gonna let that go because at the end of the day, Dior, I like you. I fucks with you, so it ain't that serious for me. But I did want to say, like, sometimes you just gotta be careful because the bullets that you shoot, and if you meant to hit me with the bullet, then you hit me. But if you didn't mean to hit me with the bullet or hit some of my other YouTubers, if it was a specific YouTuber you had an issue with, then I think that's it. Okay. So when Reese came back in, then they started passing the spoon around. Now listen, I'm just gonna give y'all the highlights of the spoon because I'm getting long-winded now. The highlights of the spoon. Really, only two things happened before the whole thing erupted that were important to me. Oh, okay. Really, two things happened. One, King Kane had mentioned that George was trying to get with him and George was sweating him and George was a fan and George was this. But George pulled out his receipts and was able to show receipts that Kane was in his DMs and maybe George was in his was going back his DMs because, you know, as much as I fuck with George, you be sidestepping the truth sometime too. So I feel like it might have went back and forth, but Kane made it seem like George was sweating him and there was no reciprocity, and I feel like they was going back and forth. I feel like you was flirting with him just like he was flirting with you. I don't feel like it was one-sided. The other thing that I thought was very interesting that came out was Reese G realized that Antonio was either lying to him or being disloyal to him, and so he sent Antonio false information and some emails, and he sent him some false information because he realized that Antonio was spreading and sharing his personal information with another YouTuber whose name I will not mention, and Reese was able to sort of prove it. And so I found that to be very interesting because then that would explain a lot about why Reese was so upset with Antonio, because not only are you being disloyal and you telling my business, but you're telling my business to somebody that you know don't have it out, don't see it for me, somebody that already has been coming for me, somebody that's already been, out here talking about me and dragging me. So why would you, basically, if we were supposed to be friends, why would you betray me to that person? And I'm gonna leave that there. So the other thing that I found, so basically, at the end of the day, with Reese and Antonio, what we find is that Antonio and Reese were really legitimately friends, and I think Reese was hurt not just because of the show bullshit, but he was hurt because he feels like that Antonio really betrayed him as a friend. He felt like he really, really betrayed him. Yeah. Reese felt like when he was going through the stuff he was going through, that his friend just wasn't there for him, and I think Reese was really hurt behind that. And at the end of the day, Reese tried to fight that boy. And they said they had to shut down production because the police was called. Now, I don't know who the hell called the police. So a whole lot must have went down that we didn't see on camera. Or they must have been real loud and real rowdy. Like, this must have been chopped up to the point where, because I was like, damn, somebody called the police already? The other thing we get cleared up was the whole New Orleans situation between George and Trey Womack. And what it sounds like to me is they tried to turn that whole situation into an attempted assault, that he tried to push up on him, and he tried to, basically like he was on him, like sexually assaulting him. Like, really, like that's what Trey Womack described was a sexual assault or an attempted sexual assault. And George was like, it wasn't that serious. He was like, both of us were drunk, and yeah, I came onto you, but it was not like that. It did not go down like that. Now, Trey Womack said something about not even liking dick. And as a straight woman, I don't even understand the concept of a gay man not liking dick. I don't understand it. Don't put it in my comments. I'm just saying. He made the comment. I don't get it. I'm moving on. Amani Van Zap, as always, got it right. She talked about last week's episode and Trey Howard, how Reese G and Trey Howard are arguing over a damn comment under a Facebook post or some bullshit. And she basically reiterated everything I said about Trey Howard growing the fuck up. You need to get your attitude together. But Reese, if you're gonna be boss, you gotta be boss all the time. So yeah, I said that. We agree. We've agreed all season. Moving on. This has gone on longer than I ever intended it to do. I thought I would give y'all 10 minutes and be done. Last but not least, I'm going to give a shout out to George Ass, who, when they was fighting, everybody jumped up to try to get ready to break up the fight between Reese and Antonio. And George Ass is the only one that did not get up from the table. And they were even calling for him. Somebody even said, Pastor Greenleaf, we need you. Because George was probably next to Reese. George is the biggest, well, Womack too. Probably the biggest one there. And they probably was like, we need you. Like, we need your size. Because while Trey Howard was up doing this, boo, boo, boo. If Reese really was trying to, if Reese had got past all them other obstacles in his way, and you were the only thing standing in his way, you doing this, that wasn't gonna stop nothing. So anyway, but George, that shit was hilarious. George ain't get up from the table. He did not move. Okay. Anyway, overall, it was what it was. It is what it is. The season, the season is over. Wish I could be at the reunion, but obviously for obvious reasons, we won't be traveling. Can't be there. Shouts out to Carrie D with the new video. Shouts out to the Chasing Reality brand for expanding with 2 new shows coming up. Wooda Lee, shouts out to Wooda Lee for your new show, which I knew about, but I couldn't say nothing. But I knew about the new show, so shouts out to you. You know we're going to be reviewing it. The Justice League will be there. And shouts out to my man Q, who will also be EPing the new expansion into LA with Chasing LA. So anyway, that's it. That's all. I'm done. We'll be on the Justice League. Got some stuff to say, but we'll say it collectively. I'm out. Peace.